and lonely. Okay, family. Bring warm greetings to Una from the TNN TV Media Empire. Today, the 30th of December, 2022. Me, now Una host and presenter, is Emil Koma. Obviously, some sentimental background indicative of the end of the year, what a momentous year this has been. And of course, you cannot let a momentous year come and pass by without having a conversation, regardless of how short that conversation is. But the significant one of this particular review, year in review, is we tend for look into issues beginning the year 2022, which will imply January to December will be concerned. So barely in about 48 hours time, we will signal officially the end of 2022, and together with others who will be among the lucky ones, we will transition from point A to point B from 2022 to 2023. Of course, we'll usher in 2023, another year of hope, because the past one where we're about to do away with, honestly, there's nothing much to write home about. So today, now been 2 days program we're supposed to have, because Una self will know the 2022 we pull up with all kind team, all kind dilly-dally, all kind yagba, all kind slang. If you're not able the game, now for pull on the game don't pull boto, you don't turn elastic, you don't turn this. What an innovative Sierra Leoneans there. I mean, you got to be proud about this, despite the difficulties in Wahab. Somehow, we managed to inject humor into this. But again, this is not the year in review 2022. Like I say, it's meant to be a 2 days program. One of them is today, right now, as we speak, and the other, which will conclude the order of things for 2022. Not tomorrow. So today you're not really long. Now for just brush over what you want to expect tomorrow. Because what we want to do will be one chronicle, and we will still attempt to do that. I make them for 2 days. Because imagine what happened in that 12 months period where it's been difficult for them to even catch up. As the catch-up game will be played, but it'll be so difficult. Then imagine if you want chronicle 12 months of yaba, of issues, of all kinds, whether that developmental aspect, whether that be actions of corruption, whether that be actions by the ACC, whether that be actions by the communication team, whether that be the employment of a new communications officer, whether that be the jump over or somersaulting of some APC people then from APC to the SLPP. And you name it, and vice versa. There were some low-key figures as well who jumped on the other side. But very high-key figures jumped on the other side. So many things to talk about. But what we managed to do, we don't compile them, we don't compress them, so we don't say that go fit for tomorrow. So the essence of the year in review in full will be actually tomorrow. Well, I'll look at some highlights if we can together. Let me look at some highlights, okay? Obviously, topping the list, the then and now list, And I don't know whether other agencies or organizations get a different kind of a list, but top in that list of issues that were discussed or very prominent in the course of this year, the issue of corruption. In many respects, corruption takes the front page for A, negative reasons, for B, positive reasons. But in my own humble judgment, because of the humble reasons, as we were told from the initial stages that we talk about when power change hands, we've been promising this government when they come in will fight corruption. You see, this is where some of us have been at the vanguard of the struggle, at the forefront of the struggle, in holding government to account based on waiting next day, also waiting with the makeup. So we do know, say, by early as April, May 2018, government make a clear to me, they will hold people responsible, we take the people in couple. In other words, the consolidated revenue fund, government will hold everybody way deep into that funding through an investigation. The government went on to empower the ACC, an ACC that became very critical of on the basis of the evidence available, nothing personal. You know, people ask me, what you get against Francis? It's like, really, are you serious? Are you listening to what I'm critiquing? Or you just can't ask me some silly questions? And this was the case. So we self done a help in many respects for perpetuate the funny thing there where they happen in our country. Instead of we rise up to the threshold and hold we government accountable by asking the necessary questions, whether we support government or not. And not mean say we not for ask questions, especially questions in the right place. Unfortunately, this has not been the case. Every time when you ask government questions, especially questions where they criticize government and demand answers, of course, supporters then they come hard at you because they see themselves as right. And then you when they ask the questions in behalf of the people and country, they see you as wrong. But this is where we've done an exceptionally good job. And whilst we're not there to satisfy everybody, but it's true to our conscience that the questions that we really ask and the required answers. And everything proved right. Waiting go wrong, where thief money, when they thief the money, how much money they thief, where they hold responsible. Unfortunately, it became shocking on the issue of corruption. According to how this current president promised, we say he will handle corruption, not to say be. Corruption, in other words, became weaponized. The methodology towards prosecuting former government officials for stealing money from the people, depriving the money, people of developmental goals and aspirations. The government promised to say will prosecute them and it will be stronger on them. That no work as how it is supposed to be. We see people way they earn, although we need to make pre-judgment, but at least the allegations were pointing towards them. And this have been part of the people that will be the power list. What we then see is like some of these people in they give them a clean bill of health. And you can give people a clean bill of health, but on which basis? The basis on which this clean bill of health was given is completely different, which means that some of these people have already acquiesced to government in an or in the play, say, well, I go bring you, come over, you just support me. Remember, say, it's a critical year, a year of election. And government, they're in trouble. Let's be fair about this. Government, they're in serious trouble. Government, take the not even for some that bread and butter business where they promise the people and say they solve. This is just wonderful. So instead of owning up to the people and say, what did they do now? Now for continue for tell me some kind story the way you get for actually catch me and say, well, this is not match with what you have been telling me. And the supporter, of course, they don't go completely bastard. They explain all kinds of story to me as if we have people that we not sabi waiting na Creole. We can't even speak Creole much or understand them. They tell we about things that we are jara one with we yes. We see with we hear them. But anyway, it's obvious that government cannot solve the economic problem. And this is true. This is the case. It's like 4 years on. The Indeed, Parliament is about to come to an end if it's not already. In fact, it's come to an end. It's a lame dog Parliament. There's nothing really that they can do right now. Nor did they do much during the time that they had grit and teeth for bets. Okay, all they kind of do in many respects is big fool way. Also, they're supposed to mass fool down, act like Parliament as the people's representative in the people's house. They not do so. And most times they found themselves, flat-footed as a consequence of deliberate actions. Because if they want for act, they can act. Because when time reach for let them act, they give it all kinds of sours to it. And we see like fat open inside Parliament and what have you. And then when we ask what they happy, they say because the other side not agree for let them do what they want for do. But inside 4 years, and now when the Parliament is not done, at the time now when they begin to show action like say we want for fat, or when they fat for the people's right. This is why it smells fishy, it smells dodgy. But anyway, corruption are we top story for the year 2022, and we will rub much more tomorrow. Another thing we want to talk about again, somehow then things there they kind of interlink. So even when you don't talk about corruption and you go into other things, because corruption is listed there, you will find out so you talk about corruption as well. But in different terms and in different times, we need to understand that. Okay. Another story will be critical. The president go on for pay senior army officers them or commanders them. Big money when I just few of them. Very few of them. So the Ministry of Finance appropriate budget for few top generals. I think we'll get about 2 or 3 generals then, and then the rest of them then are brigadier then. But because then people then are the top echelon of the army and are responsible for XYZ, the protection of the country, but not in this case as the army itself has been politicized. Not till today, the president decide for give them big salary. And when you do that kind of thing today, it's for no other reasons other than for buying their allegiance. And waiting we hear with your investigation, this is not the CNN TV media empire investigation, is the president himself, and they talk about His Excellency Julius Madabio, is not sure about his electorate. In other words, remember say everybody get a stronghold and the president is stronghold, or the party where the president they represent a stronghold in the southeast of the country, southeast, Moyamba generally and other places in the southeast axis. But now there is no guarantee because remember say these people we voted for the party for great kind of power. Themselves don't become disillusioned by many respects by miles for obvious reasons, economic reasons. So when economic reasons happen, not all the people that we belong to other electorates or other demographics such as the northwest, not to the normal feel the pinch. People that are the president in stronghold, they say feel the pinch. And this is a serious pinch when they talk about serious economic pinch. The skyrocketing of goods and services, the prices of goods and services. In other words, there is a cost of living crisis in the country we don't go on for many years. And this became acute and worse under the leadership of the current administration. For obvious reasons, but these are just the facts. When you get people in the rule and the neck and the eye, whereas this is the truth, which we plan for the end of us speak nothing but the truth. So help by God. That's what we do here. God fearing, respect man, and fear God. So this is exactly what's in the case. So as a consequence of this, the people they're not there with the president, how they been there with the president before. So the president knows this. This vote now, a southeast region, outside the stronghold of the SLPP, this is the ruling party government. They are no longer guaranteed. This is a fact. They are no longer guaranteed. So as a consequence of this, for makeup, the president decides for laying to the army. In other words, the security forces, which is very critical apparatus or structure within the country, and especially so within the electioning system. One other thing we need to understand is I think we are about 16 tribes in the country, but we get over 17 political parties. And I wonder whether any one of us don't look at these dynamics critically. Have we? If we haven't, this is not food for thought. Begin to think about that. But bottom line is, the votes in the southeast for President Julius Maada Bio is no longer 100% guaranteed. the consequence of this, the president will get for ling on the army. Because now the army he can count on when he can account. Now the army now they get for they up and about, they transport ballots and ballot boxes and people and they monitor security in the country, of course, along with other security forces. But these are key. The army, the police, the ONS, and you name it. These are the people that are going to be out there. So for by the people they are over, they offer them the hierarchy of the institution they are, specifically in this case the army, millions and millions and millions of euros. So that means the president has got them in the bag. The president has actually got them in the bag because the vote of the Southeast can no longer be guaranteed. Let's be honest, it's 6 months to election. And family, I want to listen to this logic because we're not just saying this because we want to criticize the president or the president in party. After all, I'm a citizen and I've got a right. And at that right level, I feel say I get you ready for critiquing the government constructively, because proper analysis, policy-based analysis, which is what I'm doing, and I've been doing for a number of years now. Let's take a look again. Let me just re-emphasize why I say so. If somebody they promise you X, Y, Z, or you've been responsible for somebody's economic well-being, and this economic well-being, and then they go again according to plan. But you don't promise this person over and over, and this person they sound enough for understand, say, well, things not too bad really, but once this person they promise me, at least there's an effort on the part of this person for see whether they can do something or change the present condition. We will elevate my status from bad to good. At least, not for the best, but at least from that predicament to start feeding myself. That I can't afford for buy food, I can't afford for feed me family, I can't afford for send me picking into school. This is serious in the country, and this is the situation. Inflation they run rampant. As a consequence of that, the money has no value. The president and him and governor, they don't do all kinds of things. They don't puff and puff, they don't smoke and unsmoke. They don't pull all kinds of tactics, they don't introduce all kinds of policy over the past 4 years. None of this has worked. The Sierra Leonean people and continue to suffer. To a point so much so that fine adage where the president and team will come out with solving the bread and butter issue, because obviously Sierra Leonean business, the bread and butter issue. Solve that problem, over 50% of the general problem is solved. Over 50% is solved. But misplaced priority, a part of the cost for which we offend ourselves inside school. And then we make excuses as to the Ukraine-Russian war as partly responsible, or to a wider degree responsible for the economic calamity in which people find themselves. I want to disagree with this, let's be honest, because long before the Ukraine crisis, economic problems didn't exist. And because of poor management, fiscal management, monetary management policies, as a consequence, things just, balloon off. Things that they promise will do, they do quite the opposite. For example, if they try for reining economic activities like plugging the holes for corruption, that's exactly what you will do. You won't widen it. Excuse me. You will not widen it. What you go do now? Plug them, reduce their wholesale, so that there will be economic generation somewhere, and that money that we generate, you can put into something more substantive, more, for the people, that can elevate the people the condition with the. Another example is the wage bill. Come on, man. So whilst we not try to tell me something else, look at the wage bill, for example, which you inherit and are supposed to waiting you get now. It's unbelievable. It's like you almost quadruple the wage bill. And the wage bill is serious because if you not get money, but then you didn't take money for gig out, when the money will you not get, which means that you did goals on side or cover this so. And as a consequence, and also one of the wage bill now where you employ people, so you get for paid another the wage bill down there for the country. And when you pay them now every month, probably some people even take pay per week. We also know, say the president under this leadership, he gets some fabulous contractors them where they clock $400-500 a day. This not to hearsay, not to they say. These are facts. We just need for begin for due diligence or not continue for listening to the TNN, because this new year we get for full story them after story them, and all those stories will be verified. It is high time that we continue or multiply in the numbers for hold we government accountable. Holding the government accountable, not missing we wish we government away. We just wish that the government will look into what they are being accused of. And if there are merits in there, and trust me, plenty of merits inside the accusation they are already talk about. The wage bill is no joke, this is a fact. The president promised me say he go cut down the wage bill because that's one way for save money. What did he do? He almost quadruple the wage bill. What do you expect in that scenario? What do you expect in that case? Which means that there was no sincerity in the first place. So what else would I want to explain to the masses of people for believe in within they say? So you see, these were mismanagement fiscal policies and plenty of mismanaged other financial policies. So both policies of government on the macro and micro level absolutely mismanaged. Rampant corruption running rife all over the place. So that shows there was no sincerity. And when they talk about national debt, by the way, because this is the one figure where it can hard for every year, but it is there. How do we think the government is being sustained? We only hear about grant and big grants. We hear a lot of talk about the grant. Well, good, although grant is not too good, still bad, when it comes to the big economic conditions of a country. If you're dependent on we just give you grant, or let me say, well, we still a crop, which is shameful, but this is the situation. But anyway, we hear a lot about grants. We don't hear about debt, national debt. Now we'll begin doing work, and in fact, next year or even maybe tomorrow, we will release the figures about debt as we know now, and we will make a contrast and comparative analysis between the then and the now, which is what was the national debt then? What is the national debt now? And remember, say we go take other economic factors into place or indices into place. So we're not just to say because bag of rice costs 500,000 euros as opposed to trade away because 200,000 euros, without taking other factors them into place as to inflation and how they don't create this massive cost to send services. The issue here is what have you done? Instead, the policy is being used. It's just reckless, completely reckless. This is the TNT media empire. Like I said, there's much more to come in 2023. We'll therefore be patient because we get something like less than 72 hours for the new year. Once we go into this new year, we all will be extremely happy. Can I use the opportunity once again, just like we do the other day, and we'll continue to do until we transition into the new year? I mean, along the way, for the past 12 months, we lost many good friends along this particular way. Family and friends. Our hearts is in your prayers. I want for everyone to know this. This could have happened to any one of us. The fact that it not happened to us does not mean that we should not, show empathy with those of the people and where this tragedy happened to. There are others who are sick, lying in the hospital today, cannot sit up, neither can they sit down. They probably just bedridden because of illness. My God, in the strongest time, we pray to you that you offer them people there, your boundless mercies. May your healing hands touch these people, and may they instantly be healed. To the family where you go through all them pain there, we say you are not alone. We are with you. Stay blessed. Family, this is the TNT Media Empire. Tomorrow, we go complete this, but we get to get from our much time before we close this program for today. This is the interview, and this is the TNT Media Empire. Yes, this is the second part now. We can wrap up, this program. But can I also use the opportunity to thank both we friends and foes, coin the word frenemies. You actually get people who hit the ground that we're working on for reasons best known to themselves. Which we do here, we only do out of it, we do out of love for country. That's why we seriously consider ourselves to be patriots. Throughout the past year, in fact, the past years that we've been doing broadcasting, blogging, vlogging, you name it, we've done exceptional work by virtue of the review that we get. And we're making a collection. And probably one day we might find the true spirit for Release Their collection from Sierra Leoneans who are thankful for what we do, that tell us thank you every day for what we do. These are the people that we derive our motivation from, our inspirations from. These are the people, despite when profanities are thrown our way, both personally and to general family members, these are the people that make us continue to ride on, to soldier on. And to you lot, I say thank you very much. This new year as well, we want for increase with number of subscription. So as you watch right now, I'm kindly asking you, so if now YouTube they watch on or whether not to YouTube they watch on, please make sure say you go to YouTube page and try for subscribe to YouTube page. Not only do that alone, but they ask you for ask family, friends, and members of the wider community to subscribe to the YouTube platform. Listen, family, in the first quarter of this year, we dey hope for double, not double that number, but for triple the number, because right now we're around 4,000 subscribers. But by April, that was March, we want that number there at 10,000. 10,000 is not great a number. I mean, we have thousands of people, multiple thousands of people watching us. Last video that I did casually at this, we got something like 7,500 watching now. This was something like 2 days ago, which means I forget 10,000 subscribers. It's a simple thing. And then don't be bitter. Keep an open mind. Okay? Ask your questions. Be critical first, but be constructive. Not kind of general platform they can't accuse me saying that for you, I mean, I like me a man. That's shameful. That's on you. That's not on me. Don't come and make them frivolous accusations that on me. When people are out there in Sierra Leone, of course, it's slowed down now a lot. But there are many people who are buying into this rubbish. Let's elevate the conversation. That's all I ask for. This is all I've been asking. Okay? So tomorrow, what you go attend for what month my game is many things. The midterm census, which lead to voter registration, all the brouhaha around voter registration, the ECSL and corruption, $10 million corruption. We see how Africanist press come out with well-written piece of investigative journalism exposing the ECSL of corrupt practices. In other words, even the bidding process was corrupt. In the final analysis, the company that the contract was offered to did not even meet the criteria. Those that it was not offered to get the criteria 4 or 5 times more than the company that was giving the contract. But because they know say we are also we not read deeply and what have you, most Ghanaians they don't begin to do now. The consequence of what we do, family they begin to understand the way how they can manipulate, like the public persona, the public narrative, how family they can shape opinion, because family they not important themselves, for read. To the fine print of what's being thrown out there, we can just accept them of this value, and that's what the ECSL do with this bidding process. So you can imagine an election body tasked with the responsibility of running elections in a country, which shapes the destiny of a nation of youthful people for the next decades to come. It's in itself immersed. It's in itself immersed in corruption. Millions of dollars of corruption, but yet cannot be held accountable by a parliament. This is the thing, cannot be held accountable by a parliament. The parliament will make people believe like say they don't have that powers. As if we be fool. That's what they all on the treat with this political class. They treat we in that sense. Things are changing and they're changing fast. If you think that Sierra Leone they will have a speck in their eyes, blacks in their ears, and I don't care attitude, and then just continue there with what they do. What's the problem? We all in and we all corner them. Politician and politician, you guys are missing the point. Okay? You guys are missing the point. So many things that the way Parliament can investigate instead that lip service we can campaign to me. And this in itself is unacceptable because the parliamentarians them, some of them are acting as if they're sabi. Of course, now we vote them, eh? Not me saying they sabi pass some of the people that we vote them, eh? But somebody has to be voted in, so they were voted there. But instead of they represent the people's interests, instead it's all about their interest, wardrobe allowance. The other big alejo them, where would be feel say wardrobe allowance no matter. But it did matter to them because why? It's about personal aggrandizement. It's about themselves. It's about themselves. So next time when they make a decision or tell people they go to parliament, it has to be based on public work. What have they done? No, not so waiting they promise we for do. What have they done prior to coming and asking the people for their vote? What have they done? Okay. By media this year, we see the comical police chief. Where people they don't teach people them and they take people them. Now people them want challenge government to now all remember that a funny moment, but these were serious moments as well. Because during this reign of this comical police chief approach Sohula, there were many things that went wrong, including the plaguing of the country with drugs. Okay, that's when the height of drugs became ever so high in the country. And not to Ambrose, in fact, if not like Ambrose Sohula was in that center, then you go imagine, say the government in itself somehow is connected. And this is what investigation is leading us into now, that fake money they were and containers of drugs that were sent into the country. The government had hands in these things. But when government they act, they get to make sacrifice. See, they act for let's say an African government, like to make sacrifice in West Africa. But the police chief was so comical that at the time the thing would be happening as serious as it was. The moment he was fired, the whole country light up by being comical. In other words, they begin for revisit. It became a revisionist thing about what this police chief was well known for, and at the stand-up comedy, all them misfiring them, all them, he has to read them way before instead of the reality. So by so doing, the police chief managed for escape, the government itself managed for escape. Yes, something serious, but that didn't go away. Same drop and people break the country. We understand that people are at the highest echelon, which will be around the executive, vice presidency, and the office of the president. They are also somehow connected in this way. We also the one talk about not only the illegal drug and Sohula, we lost in job back then. We also see the APC party getting cars, so they end up in a court where they have to make a decision on that justice in the Isha, draw up a how would you call it, a roadmap for the APC for follow. Imagine one of the biggest parties in the country and the only party who posed a threat to the leadership of His Excellency then draw up a structure or roadmap for them as soon again for doing elections. So as they speak, the country, the political party itself not get now they try to make that structure. They imagine 6 months to election, 5 months to election. But the same people that feels the time does not matter. Some of the people, of course, not all the people, some of them think say the time does not matter. That's how much they offer people. Now, when the leader of the House Opposition Party, Chernoh and Madam is supposed to take action in mass votes, like an opposition, what an opposition would do. When something come up, we warrant an opposition or take the bull by the horn. Chernoh was never there. Let's get it clear. They go come 1-2 weeks later, we all think not by and just can't help for kill them off. These are all facts. They are all well documented and well chronicled. At some point, he tried for save face by coming and can make some statement about how do you call it, about the PR system that it threatened. He gave an ultimatum to government saying 2 weeks if you don't address this PR system, when we they pull the people in at it, big talk, end up and nothing. The family will ask come back, he said, not to so it be me. So that tells you not to so, and we'll be see the election voter registration and midterm census will not go down well at all. And the official position of the All People's Congress Party was to boycott it because the elements they were supposed for in place were supposed for war and they're not in place at all, so much so that the international community themselves, where i.e. the World Bank and the IMF were for sponsor that particular program, they pull out, rendering the process itself non-credible. Non-credible. You go imagine say an opposition party go capitalize on that. For one moment they go make me for understand like say the Fred Manabio, next moment and then a party inside Manabio they celebrate big tea in that occasion on that occasion. Yay. But then the victory you want to celebrate, they invite you on purpose or or expose you and you look so inconvenient. There are a couple of them and they are well documented and those them and it should be released on time. Then you got the members them, we want to give people the impression like one of the people that really support the leader of the opposition, nothing personal when we talk about issues, and when the issues border around the leader of the opposition, then you will expect the leader of the opposition mentioning name or in position. That's all it is by my measure. And then they talk about other people. And then you say, oh, because they can call for like Canadian platform and they refuse for Canadian platform. I make the what a load of bull crap. Maybe other people they want another platform, which is good. If they not turn up, and so what? Does that stop the platform from intimating, the policies, them, the editorial, them, their feelings and experience or their analysis? Does that stop it? No, you don't have to come because you can be exposed for what you are. It's up to you whether you turn up or not. And there's nothing, like personal, at least not from my end, nothing personal. And then the other guy says, the man a righteous politician. Now from that day now, what's for now? Because you show me a politician as a but just because you didn't pay book, now you say he is righteous. Are you serious? Are you kidding me? But yeah, such is the nature of Sierra Leoneans that we expect better of because comes before them off that mandate table, so therefore they don't mind for mortgage or compromise. Them basically can get any as long as they link partner because that's what they expect say, well, power might go that person in your way, and if power go that person in your way, that person they don't go forget them. No wonder the country still like it. But somehow we have to change the rules. Somehow. Anyway, these are many other things that we want to talk about. Corruption at the first lady office. Remember, we talk about the private company where they pay for PL, where the first lady they do. By November, we hear about, of course, the ongoing case about the Chancery, the New York Chancery in America, involving the APC supposed candidate, Dr. Samoa Wilson Kamara. And that case, they refused to go away, making many Sierra Leoneans therefore believe say, well, probably the ACC, they not weaponize them. And the entire exercise of investigation, especially when it comes to the issue of the Chancery, is now a kind of a witch hunt. Why? Because the case of over 4.6 million euros, which was transferred back in 2019 to New York. So transferred to New York and not come out from China to New York by the way, because it was paid to the Bank of Sierra Leone, and then that transfer was made in 2019 to New York. The occupants under the APC were no longer there because the APC had lost government in 2018. It's not a simple thing, but then the same supporters of government in an era of disinformation and misinformation campaign just to throw all the things there into the play because unions are not smart enough or patient enough for do the heavy lifting, look through the loads of rubbish we intentionally some people in the drive. And of course, you get caught up in the argument. Oh, now then when they didn't get the money. Oh, now the people that didn't get the money. No, money was transferred in 2019 under whose administration? Under Dr. Ali Sajan Kaba administration. Under this current administration, 2019, they were fully in government when this money was transferred. So when they do this investigation, it took years for the ACC boss even summon Dr. Ali Kaba, a primary suspect for the entire case. Just for can answer a question, or for can have a conversation around it, but felt proudly to always invite inconvenient, harass Dr. Samora Kamara, under whose administration the money was never transferred. But this is political machination, and we know that political machination number one, and people are waking up to the facts. But again, like I say, family, there's a lot to talk about, and I think therefore in the program there, I want to tell you thank you those of you that we tune in. Tomorrow we go actually, I hope that we will get Chernoh, or let we need this program tomorrow. And it wouldn't last long because much of what we want to talk about here, and we'll see exactly what happens. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been the TNN TV Media Empire production. I ask you for stay with me back in the coming new year, 2023. There will be so much more in terms of graphics, in terms of media, in terms of production, in terms of quality, in terms of story, newscast, production. But this can only happen with you. Without you, it would never happen. And I say thank you very much, and I wish everybody happy, happy New Year. Good night for now until we see you again.